This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
How you doing, my man? You doing good?
Doing good, brother. How about you?
Can't complain. Panthers up 2-0, so maybe we get a Stanley Cup celebration here in South Florida. How about that?
That'd be great. I actually keep messing with my youngest daughter, Olivia, who's a big fan of the Panthers. I told her that, she also, these kids nowadays, they get these Stanley Cups, the ones that are like they maintain your drink really cold. She's a big fan of those big coolers. So I told her, I said, if the Panthers win, everybody in the state gets a free Stanley Cup. So she's under this belief that people are gonna make out with the ones that she likes to collect. So
okay, all right, I like that.
Have a little fun with her.
Is she enjoying hockey?
She does. I took her to a couple of games in the past, and whenever they come on, she'll sit and watch with me. So
it's really the only sport my daughter likes. My daughter loves hockey.
Really?
It's the only one. Yeah, she doesn't really get into football or basketball. She's watching basketball a little bit more, but she really likes since a kid. And when I would take her, hockey is the only one that she wants to go to a Panthers game. She doesn't tell me, hey, take me to a Dolphins or a Heat or a Marlins game or InterMiami or anything like that. Well, InterMiami now she's older, but over the years, she didn't really give a shit about any of the other ones. And then she loves the Panthers, and then she also loves when they fight.
Yes. Yeah, I personally think my girls love it because of the AC. It's so cold; they get to wear their little sweaters in there, and it's a different experience than going to sweat your butt off at a Dolphins or Hurricanes game.
My daughter's a brown belt in karate, so I don't know. It was some about fighting she enjoys.
That she,
I don't know. Yeah, the violence is what gets my daughter going. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Did I fail somewhere or something? It's just one of those things. But yeah, that's what gets her going. So yeah, she wasn't happy yesterday with the Barkov hit. So she wanted to take out Crapsdale herself.
No, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was wasn't good right there. And she's a brown belt. She might be able to take out Crapsdale. That's for sure.
We might have to send her to Edmonton, right?
Yeah. We might have to. Yeah, we send my daughter. She's the new enforcer. Is what we'll do for the Panthers. All right. So what do we got going on in the world of the Canes this week?
Well, they just picked up their first commitment of the recruiting cycle in terms of the visit period. They picked up a 3-star defensive back. Kid out of the Birmingham, Alabama area, 6'2", 180, which is what I like about him. You need big, long DBs, and so the DB is the one position that I kind of worry about on this team right now because I don't think the level of talent is where it needs to be. I think that's the one position that they haven't necessarily recruited at an elite level for a very long time. I think Mario had a good class last year. He added some guys to the roster, but I think a lot of the last couple cycles have not been good enough at that DB position. So they like this Timothy Merritt kid. I think he's ranked 451, which is a very high 3-star recruit in the evaluations or the rankings of the 247 composite. So good player, can play safety, can play slot corner, which you want that diversity in your defensive back. So good pickup for Mario. Still more work to do. They're far off from being a top 5, top 10 class again, but I know that they're going to get there because they have a really strong NIL system, and he recruits his butt off.
Yeah, and when we talk about corners, man, it almost seems like, and it's weird that you said they haven't recruited at an elite level when everybody's so desperate to go try to land the best corners because everything's a passing league. College, the NFL, I mean, corners, pass rushers are, premium. You need to have those kind of guys. Are you kind of shocked, or what is it about them? Because the Canes have always had a rich history of having defensive backs, not just corners but safeties.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I mean, they obviously they put a lot of their eggs in their basket on Cormani McLean a couple years ago, and of course we've seen Cormani McLean leave Colorado. Now he's at the University of Florida. and I think they had a chance to probably get some other guys that they weren't able to bring in, but they put all their eggs in that basket. And they lost out on him. And then, like I said, last cycle I thought they did better. Zaquan Patterson is a I think he's going to be a stud. He's another Cam Kitchens type to me, a guy that makes plays all over the field. But he's a true freshman. Isaiah Thomas, another kid that's a Canadian kid, has a lot of gifts. They got a kid Dylan Day out of Louisiana. But they're all true freshmen, and you know how that is, though. Like those guys, very rarely do they come in and make an immediate impact. So that's what I mean. I, I think it's the previous cycles, the 22 class, the 21 class. Like they didn't do a good enough job, and that's where you're going to see, I think, why they had to go to the transfer portal to bring guys in, because those other guys that they recruited weren't good enough.
Yeah, no, I get that, but you figure, the transfer portal, they would be able to pick up, somebody, because like you just said, they have a couple guys. They have a strong NIL, so that's just something. And it's weird because corner hasn't been, it's been a problem for them the last couple of years. It's kind of been an issue for them. They haven't had a great secondary in a while. When was the last great secondary set the Canes?
Well, you could definitely argue the 2017 season when they started 10-0. I mean, they had a couple of guys, Sheldrick Redwine, Jaquan Johnson. They had guys that were drafted. I think they had 3 or 4 guys in that secondary that were drafted.
I remember that. Yeah, they were. Those guys are pretty good. Yeah.
But that's kind of the last time. And then last year you basically had Cam Kitchens back there. The last couple of years he's obviously been a ball hawk, but there were plenty of moments where they gave up big plays. So, but look, they have a really good front seven, and I think the secret to this year's success is going to be putting pressure on the quarterback. And they have one of the best defensive lines, or they should have one of the best defensive lines in college football. That should make your DBs look a little better.
Let's hope so, man, because the DBs lately have not been, up to snuff. All right, what else does Mario? What else is Mario working on over the next week or two? Any recruiting?
Yeah, more visitors. I mean, they're gonna have a couple big time receivers. Yeah, a lot more recruiting. A couple big time visitors. This week, Jamie French is a kid out of the Jacksonville area. 5-star kid. Reminds me a lot of Marvin Harrison, not Marvin Harrison Jr., but Marvin Harrison, the father, when I watched him play in the state championship this past season. Just a good player, smart player. They just finished winning the OT7 7-on-7 national championship. I was up in Tampa for that. I told you I was driving up on Friday for that.
That's the kid that's on the front page of your
of the Athletic. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, big time kid. I think he's got a great relationship with Kevin Beard. Kevin Beard, I think, is one of the best recruiters in the country, just at building relationships with guys. He's here this week visiting French's, as well as some of his other teammates. Vernell Brown, a kid out of the Orlando Jones area. I think Miami has a much better shot at French than they do Vernell Brown, but look, this is the way it goes. You don't get everybody. And then this coming weekend is a big weekend. They're going to have the top player in the state, DJ Pickett, a big-time DB. Again, another huge need, right? If Miami's going to turn the corner, they got to get the 5-star DBs who have been going to Alabama and Georgia and leaving the state to stay home. So big recruiting weekend. But, look, again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I like to tell people, just because you get a commitment over the summertime, it means jack shit. I mean, you gotta go out there and win games in the fall, or these kids, hey, this coach is getting fired, or this coordinator is getting fired, and this is what I'm not going there anymore. So as long as Miami follows through in the fall and they have a good year, I think they're going to get a lot of the kids they want.
All right, let's hope so, man, because they certainly need to start winning and winning big here in the process.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, just got us. We're going to have an ACC mailbag. We're going to answer a bunch of ACC questions. Grace Rayner and I, my colleague, she covered Clemson for many years. I'm obviously covering Miami and Florida State and the state here in Florida. So we'll have an ACC mailbag coming out tomorrow. We'll have another one next week. Actually, I'm going to be doing a feature story on the nephew of Kobe Bryant, who is a elite safety out of Las Vegas. I got a chance to watch him up in Tampa this past weekend. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. really, really good special player, and kind of an interesting story, obviously, because his mom was Kobe's sister, and family went through a lot. So I'll have a story on that to read later this week.
By the way, a little bit off the beaten path. What'd you think of the Dan Hurley story? Because for me, I think he made the right decision. You know, he reminds me of Bill Musselman. And Bill was a really intense guy. And then when he got to the pros, his intensity was just too much for professionals. And I think today's professionals are even more touchier than those professionals that Bill Musselman was dealing with. Dan Hurley is a fucking maniac. I don't think he would work well with NBA players. And I saw the follow-up story.
I mean,
that Kentucky offered him $11 million, which holy shit, that's crazy. but I gotta say, I think Dan did the right thing. I think he's a college guy. He's not an NBA guy, but that's just me. Whatever. What do you think?
Well, I was going to ask you who is the last college coach that went to the NBA and won big? I guess the guy who was with the Celtics. I guess he became a GM and
but he didn't
win a championship, but he took them to the finals, right?
Yeah, he came up short. Actually, he was coming up short. Brad Stevens. But the last college coach,
Brad Stevens, right? That's the only one I can think of.
I don't remember.
Feels like an entirely different sport. Oh, college basketball, pro basketball.
Yes, and it just
doesn't correlate. It doesn't correlate.
No, well, it could if you have the personality for it. That maybe, but Dan Hurley, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that's not
that guy.
Right.
No, bro, that guy's too wound tight that you thought he wouldn't make it even in college as it is.
Right.
I think he would wear out on NBA players. You know, Billy Donovan's done all right, but nothing special. And he was a great college coach. You know what I'm saying?
Can we just call this what it was? The Lakers trying to appease LeBron James. The Lakers just trying to appease LeBron. That's all it was.
No, but the LeBron and JJ Redick was the one because they're podcast partners. So now Redick gets back into the mix. Hurley was more of their long term because they were only going to keep LeBron for a year, and because he's leaving soon, and so then Hurley would then stay on. So Hurley would have to deal with
LeBron wants that for his son, is what I'm saying.
Oh, maybe.
Right, but I'm saying I think LeBron wanted that for his son. I think that's all it was. You know, that's the way I saw it. I saw this as LeBron trying to move on to the next phase of his life, which is giving my son the best possible developmental coach, maybe in his mind.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. Do you view Bronny? I don't even know how you view Bronny yet. I haven't seen it.
I don't think he's an NBA player.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think he's an NBA player.
Yeah, so to me, he's not high enough on the pecking order to be worried about a future first, bro. See if you can even make the damn league. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta suck to be LeBron's kid. You know, Michael's kid, whatever.
Amount of pressure.
Yeah, dude, you see it all the time in your beat. All those guys fail. Highsmith's
Look at how many Hurricanes. Yeah, all of them
fail, dude. All of them.
Because they're raised in an entirely different environment than what their fathers were raised in. Their fathers grew up hungry. They grew up with bellies full. That's the bottom line. That's why it's different.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, appreciate you. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The great Manny Navarro getting it done. And don't forget, Brett and all the great people there will get it done too. Jeff, John, all the folks out there at Canesware will be there next Wednesday. Okay, tomorrow we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood, but next Wednesday we'll be at Canesware. Use our code BIGO10 so you can get 10% off online or in person. And online, if you order over $200, over $100, you will get free shipping. So go to canesware.com.
O Show. This is the Big O Show.